What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen and Mentality. Be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when I post all of my tea talks. I hope everybody's doing swell, thriving, and surviving, child. Okay, I understand it's the holidays. It's a little hard, but hang in there. Okay, income tax is right around the corner. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all doing well. I got a couple of different things going on today, so I just want to sit here and chit chat with y'all a little bit, have a little tea talk. The office is not under construction. I just didn't feel like sitting in there. Y'all ever been, for some odd reason, I just don't like the feeling of being cooped up in a house as much as I used to. I don't know. So either way you look at it, I got things to do, people to see, and children to tutor. Okay, so go ahead, get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you're sipping on, and bring it close. Now, I'm not going to carry too long with this because I think y'all kind of can see with context clues this is where it's going. So just sit real close so then that way you can make sure you hear me loud and clear. You dig? All right, so this tea talk has a lot to do with intuition. It has a lot to do with instincts. It has a lot to do with self-confidence. It has a lot to do with self-checking. It has a lot to do with 12 steps. It has a lot to do with you being aware of yourself. And a lot of times that can be very hard to do depending on the situation and what your capabilities are. Completely understandable, and that's fine. But I remember a wise person once told me, if you don't pay attention in the beginning, it's going to cost you double by the time it's said and done. And that has not been a lie since I heard it. Has not been a lie, has not been something I don't believe. It happens, all right? Now, there's a difference between believing in yourself and listening to your instincts and doubting yourself and doing something without rationally thinking about how to do things properly. It's kind of just like you got something all of a sudden out of middle thin air, but you still need to evaluate and think about circumstances. You need to sit here, you need to think about, what is it going to cost you to be able to have what they're trying to offer. And a lot of people don't think that far, right? Because they're just living in the moment. That's cool until you catch something. But let's talk about how we put ourselves in these valleys, and we put ourselves there. And sometimes we don't know that we do, okay? This is why I say, get to know yourself so that way you can respect your instincts and your intuition when it starts to, have a little alerts and shit go off, letting you know like something not right in the sauce. And a lot of times we second guess ourselves trying to give someone a chance to look like a decent person versus you just take them for what they are, not for what you want them to be. In reality, if they trash, the only fitting place for them to be is in the garbage. All right? So it's one of those type things. And then, you get to a point where you're upset because you feel like you doubted yourself. You felt like you shortchanged yourself. You feel all these things of failure. You feel all these things of rejection. You feel all these things that are negative that keeps you from being able to reach your highest potential. I want you to be on the mountaintop, not in the valley. Okay, the valley, there's no other way but up, and at the top you get a nice view. It depends on how fast, and it depends on how you treat being at the top. That will let it be known how long you can stay there. All right. Everything has a return. So if you're nasty, it got a return. If you do right, it has a return. For instance, I went to the store this morning. I had to get some things for my students and everything like that. No biggie. And you know how you always estimate before you get up there to check out? Well, An older lady was in front of me. I don't know if she know me on YouTube or not, but if she see my face and she comes across me, hey, how you doing? I was standing in the line, just, lightly conversing with the lady in front of me. She came in for a birthday card. She left with $45 worth of stuff. That's none of my business. But needless to say, I put my stuff up there. The lady rung it up. And the elder lady said, I'm going to pay for your stuff. I said, what? I said, you don't have to. She was like, I want to. And I love when people pave it forward. Like, I did not expect that. The universe, my great-great-grandmother, Big Mama, everybody, Aunt Ann, Ani, everybody up there, Johnny, all of them, Grandma, all of them, Walisha, all of them. They're all watching over me because I haven't had that happen in years, like decades. I think I was like in my early 20s when that happened before. But for the fact that she did it out of nowhere for me, I had to sit there in the car and say, Lord, well, I thank you. This is why I try my best to always do right. Because I could have easily spent $16 this morning getting what I needed to get. But instead, this lady offered to pay for it. Well, she ain't offered to pay for it, girl. She took that receipt and stuck my car right back up in there. I said, oh. So, me being me, she's older. I saw she had a cane. I said, would you like for me to load your stuff in your car for you? She's like, no, you good, baby. And the cashier, she was like, you good, you can leave. No. I'm at least make sure I see her to get to her car okay. It's cold out here. The wind is blowing. And anything can happen. And luckily I was still sitting in the parking lot when I was. Because guess what? She had issues trying to get her trunk open. And so you just never know. This is why it's so important for how you carry yourself. And once you learn from your mistakes and past decisions, don't hold a grudge against yourself about it. Learn from it. So then that way you can keep yourself out of those self valleys. It's horrible when we are our own critic. We are our own critic. And we are the only real criticizer that can make or break us. It's just, opinions is what it is. All right, opinions is what it is. But for the fact of you being in a valley and you're not knowing how to get out, you feel like you didn't work 5 jobs, you didn't pay as much money as you can to do certain things. You just feel as if like your life is incapable. So this is why you feel like you're in one of these valleys. So let's talk about how to reconnect with yourself, or better yet, what's needed. What's required from you for you to not be in those situations. It's nothing worse. It's just like going into debt and trying to climb your way out. Okay? The extra effort of you climbing out, bitch, is the interest. All right? And the principle is when your ass is able to stand on the ground on your own 2 feet. You being in the green is the fact of nothing mean is going on. All right? The woods, the trees, everything in its place. We need to talk about how to keep ourselves out of those places. See, sometimes people put us in those places, but we got to think cause and effect, how, what, when, where, how, all that good stuff. We just need to know when it's us who's doing it and it's in our control and when it's not. All right. Now, if you keep these key points front and center, I guarantee you're going to have a morning how I had a morning. Getting things done, showing God that you appreciate him, showing universe that you're happy with what you have, you're content with what you have. You're not going to stay comfortable. Like that's one of my things I've learned from my last job. It's like, don't get comfortable, because when you get comfortable, that's when shit really starts to go disarray. But if you can just grab onto the reins and just hang on. Change is coming. So part of the change is you changing. And so first thing is first, like I said before, intuition. A lot of us learn about intuition when we feel like it's too late. And it really isn't. It's just you had to learn something. There's certain things you're not going to learn at home. Life is going to teach them to you. Work is going to show them to you. And the dollar is going to make you have a testament, or excuse me, a testimony, because it's not what's cracked up, okay? Sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, and doing the dishes, and doing your homework, and making your bed for $10 at home is way different from you having to go out here and work 40 hours just to put gas in your car and put food on the table. Like, life woke you up at some point for you to realize that, you know? Like, part of that was to help prepare you. But part of you staying ready is you realizing the older you get, the more responsibility you're going to have. The more responsibility you accept, the more responsibility you have to be accounted for. And sometimes with intuition, we learn so late, our instincts, we feel like disrespects us because we figured out things so late. But the thing is, as long as you are above ground and you figured it out, you're good, right? So this is what you need to understand about trying to keep yourself out of these self-valleys. You need to reconnect to your uniqueness. If you're not a twin, a triplet, or none of them little things, what's the problem? I'm going to talk to you homegirl to homegirl. What's the problem? You have your own individuality. You have your own uniqueness about you. And if someone finds it to be peculiar, that's not for you to sit here and distinguish. That's not for you to sit here and pull apart to make sense of for that person. Who is that person? You are who you are. You're resilient and you're purposeful in the lane that you're supposed to be in. No one should be able to knock you in and out of your lane. Being in a self-valley is people knocking you in and out of your lane. There's no ebb and flow. Certain things are going to go and certain things are going to be prohibited. But you don't let anybody rock or break you when it comes to that. All right. Number 2, what role or decision are you paying for? Now, this is interesting because I like to use this one as far as peer pressure. You know, when growing up, I may be telling my age because I do have a birthday on Saturday, but when I was growing up, we had this thing called DARE, all right? And it pretty much, you know, against drugs, this, that, and the third growing up. And so they did that in preparation for junior high and high school because peer pressure seems to climb and increase percentile-wise the bigger children get and the more upper they are in school. Okay. Well, if you were to go and do a drug you ain't got no business doing, you don't know nothing about it, you ain't research, you ain't do nothing, and your instincts tell you, you saw on the Tower Show someone did this and they ass did it once, their asses was brain dead, leave it be. But instead, said person does it anyway and came out with some mediocre results, tripping, hallucinating, jumping through McDonald's drive-through windows, all types of stuff. Is that person paying for someone else's opinion, or are they in a self-valley because of their actions? I think it's both. I think it will be both, because you allow someone outside of you to influence you on some shit that you was really paying your minding your business from, and hearing someone else out and you lessening your guard. This is what the end result is. You know, sometimes listening to other people trying to tell us what they think they know is to be better for us, we pay for that because we did not trust our instincts in the beginning. And when we pay for it, it feels as if like the payout is twice as hard. The issues are twice as hard. The effects are twice as hard because we didn't expect certain things. But with any circumstance and situation, you should always have an open mind for an outcome, because you don't know what's going to go back and forth, what's going to sway. You don't know nothing of nothing until something happens. All right. So, like I said in the beginning, if you don't pay attention in the beginning, it's going to cost you 2 times more by the end of it. All right. Homeboy had a whole brain that was functioning. Now he don't. On the example. You know what I'm saying? So know who you are. Know who you are. Your uniqueness is also a part of what's going to keep you from certain things. If you know something's not in your lane and people trying to sit here and convince you like this is a QVC commercial at midnight, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And it's okay for you to use your uniqueness as a representative for you to be able to stand up for yourself. You know, I am who I am and I love who I am. So who the fuck are you to say anything and tell me I should do something other than be myself? You know, people have nerve. And sometimes you got to shock them back with that. Last but not least, too many man-made mistakes breeds countless self-problems. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you decide that you're not, for instance, college students, y'all know y'all need to be going to class with your books, your pens, your pencils, and your erasers, and your paper. But when you decide to feel as if like that one day the teacher decided to let you borrow a pen, you take that as she's always going to have a library of pens to lend out. That is a man-made mistake that ultimately is going to breed self problems because you don't know how to rely on yourself. You don't know how to depend on yourself. You don't know how to have your shit together. You don't know what you need. You don't care about what you need. You're neglecting what you need. And yet you're looking at everybody else as a sense of dependence, a codependency. And it's really not their responsibility to take care of you, said college student. That's your job. So when you continue to abandon the things that you need to pay attention to and closely, you're just shooting yourself in the foot for you to roll back on down into that self valley. Because worst come to worst, you don't come to class prepared and you ain't got pen nor pencil nor paper. I ain't even gonna ask if you're late. Because I know your ass is gonna flunk out. You ain't got nothing to write on or write with. So how you do the work? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Then you flunk out and still owe all this money. Who put you in that valley though? When all you needed was a piece of paper and a writing utensil. That's it. One piece of paper could have sufficed if you write small enough. But for you just to go all the way out your way and be in your ass and say, no, teacher such gonna have it today. I know she is. I'll ask her for one. Boy. Y'all better share these videos. Because common sense is real scarce around here. And in order for us to not put ourselves in potential places and positions and roles that make us feel crippled, we have to stop thinking that way. Because when we think like we can't do it, when we doubt ourselves that we can do it, and when other people's opinions of us try to reinforce what the negative energy and the low vibration and the low shadow is trying to tell us, I'm gonna need for y'all to repeat after me. I refuse to fail. I won't fail. I can't fail. God got me. I got God. Everything that I need, He has supplied. For whatever I want, thank you, God, because I don't have any. I don't have any wants. I have everything that I need and want. And so, with knowing that, I thank you. Because you didn't have to help me see there was a way out of this self valley. I could have stayed there. I have my right to. I could have. I had my choice. Excuse me. I could have. Because God, you put something in me that no one on earth can do. So I pray I stay out the self valleys. I pray that every time I feel a nudge, you let it be known. So that way we are on one accord. Because see, that's all I care about. Is making sure me and you are on one accord. Because as long as we are on one accord, honey, you don't mess with God's army. Especially not the children. So don't hurt yourself too much this week. Don't doubt yourself. It's okay if you ain't get it right the first time. It's okay if it's hard the second time. Keep trying. Keep pushing. Keep going. And keep being yourself. How do y'all deal with self-valleys? You know, do you roll yourself down there and then cry about it? Or do you try to grab onto some type of root, something that's going to be able to help you say, I'm going to get up out of this. I can't be down there, honey. It's dark and it's cold. And don't let it be the summertime. It's hot as hell. I got to get up out of here. You see the difference? I can roll down there and be like, oh my God, hip. My big toe broke. The pinky toe was a little suspect. And it's dark down here. It's dark. It's cold. And how I'm going to get out? Or on your way down, you grab onto something and you bring yourself up. Just like you will pep talk yourself on a night before you go to the club. You need to talk to yourself. And understand self-valleys are produced and they're happening and they're bred all because of insecurity of our own. We don't trust ourselves enough when our instincts and intuition is telling us red flag. So I'm here to let you know it's okay. Get up. Get up. Tomorrow's a new day. And y'all know what I say about that. Hidden faith goes a long way. You rolling out of bed, even if you made yourself a cup of coffee, but you still feel like shit, you did something. That coffee may help, but you did something. I don't know why I'm preaching so much about self-worth and self-value, but I think somebody needs to hear it. And it's cool if it's me, and it's great if it's someone else who needs to hear it. It's okay for you to love you unconditionally. And I think that's the issue these days with the people I come across, is that I love myself so unconditionally now that it's perplexing as to how I could be so happy, and they don't know anything about my real life. They don't know what it is that I do outside of working a 9-to-5 or not. They don't know. All they know is what they see. That's not because I'm ashamed of myself. It's because, you know what? I've been down in the trenches, the ditches, and the valleys. I'm only mentioning to you the valley. But I've been in them trenches too. And I was in them trenches because guess what? You can't show your teeth. You can't show your smile to everybody. And once I figured that out, child, I've been climbing up like a cliffhanger this whole entire time. Slowly but surely. Because when you are blessed with a little bit, a lot comes along with that. So y'all let me know down below. I got to go. All right. I love y'all. Be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. Share, subscribe, share, subscribe, share, subscribe. I gotta go, y'all. All right. Toodles. Oh, and if I don't make any videos by next week, happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Be safe. Be safe and keep your head on a swivel. All right. Bye. And wash your hands, including your thumbs, bitch.